Guys, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Erika Angel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I missed you. Today I have a super chill video for you guys. Como pueden ver, I have the background de la otra vez. Honestly, I really liked it. Sí se me hizo como a chill vibe. Excuse the noise, there's a ghetto bird. Damn, that shit's loud. Hey, low-key, I'm scared because like I have lights on and it's pretty late. It's 1 a.m. It's like tipo donde yo vivo no se sabe si es cohete o balazo. That's literally my life. I'm not gonna lie, once I went out and they flashed the light on me, I was like, fuck, van a pensar que soy yo la sospechosa. Alright guys, well today I have a really chill video for you guys. A few nights ago, me quedé chismeando on my phone. I went on a YouTube hole looking into stuff that has happened at the Cecil Hotel. I was just thinking, like, it's so crazy how so much shit has happened there. Last week, I actually went to go take pictures for my Instagram for my Fenty sponsorships. Yay! So make sure you go show love to them. But I went to a studio and it was right by the Cecil too. I posted in my stories. And it made me sad that I heard que quitaron the other painting where it said Cecil Hotel and it was like super iconic. Ya lo quitaron and like they started putting ads and stuff. Like low-key, even if the hotel is haunted, I feel like it's still a super iconic place. Es un lugar que tiene historia, you know? Like I feel like at this point, it's like a history, like a fucking landmark in LA. And if you don't know about the Cecil Hotel, it's basically donde una asiática la encontraron muerta en el tanque de agua. And it was just like a crazy story. Her name was Elisa Lam. Y dicen que ese hotel, like, está bien salado. A whole lot of shit happens there. And that hotel is actually near Skid Row. Skid Row is where there is a lot of homeless. And it's pretty dangerous there too. Like, if you know, you know. People think that LA es nomás lujos y famosos. Pero la puta realidad es que no. Skid Row is actually super dangerous at night. Like, tipo, una vez pasó mi papá y había hasta lumbre en medio de la carretera y tenían lumbre y todo. And unfortunately, there's like a lot of drugs, people dealing with mental health. It really sucks because there's not enough housing for homeless. So yeah, guys, anyway, a whole lot of shit happens in downtown LA. Tiene mucha historia, and where there's history, there's ghosts. Pero ese hotel dicen que está bien salado, dude. That hotel has a lot of rooms. It has 700 rooms and 15 floors. Es un putero. American Horror Story actually has a season that's inspired by the Cecil. And there's also a documentary on Netflix. But yeah, guys, I was just lurking at night and I was shook de todas las muertes que han pasado en este hotel. And it's so fucking close to me. Low-key me han dado ganas de ir a quedarme. I feel like that's low-key on my bucket list. Pero soy bien culona pa' eso. Más porque los cuartos creo que no tienen un baño. So imagine like sharing a restroom. And then also they decided to do like housing for homeless there too. Y I feel like it could be kind of dangerous because there's a lot of people on drugs and you know. So guys, I have a list here and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, todo esto ha pasado ahí, like, ¿qué pedo? So it opened in 1924 and there's probably been around 80 deaths or more. Porque muchas muertes no están reportadas. I feel like especially back then, a lot of shit would get like swept under the rug. And it was like so much easier to hide shit. Like they would say that the serial killer Richard Ramirez, ay, ese güey me da miedo, dude. Porque está bien feo, dude. Aparte de que era un hijo de su puta madre, estaba bien feo. And like I really saw that there was like some girls that were saying that he was hot. I was like, dude, pinches nacas. Like it gave me like pick me vibes. Like, ay, sí está bien guapo, me gusta lo raro. Like, dude, cálmate. But anyway, that serial killer, dicen que él se quedaba ahí por un montón de tiempo. De hecho, todavía está su cuarto ahí. Y, ay no, imagínate en la noche, yo creo ahí sí pasan cosas. Ay, qué miedo quedarse ahí. Dicen que él llegaba empapado de sangre afuera del hotel y tiraba su ropa llena de sangre en el tambo de basura, y él todavía tenía sangre en su ropa interior, and he would literally walk in the hotel and nobody would give a fuck about like seeing him with blood. Like it was so normal to everyone, and he would just walk up to his room como la santa mañana, like bien confianzudo and shit. Imagínate todas las muertes que ese pinche viejo causó. He probably even murdered some people inside that hotel, dude. So aquí tengo una lista de las muertes, dude. Hay un chingo. Estas nomás son las muertes reportadas, like I said. The first death happened in 1927. Literally, dude, they opened in 1924. So, the first death happened luego, dude, en chinguiza. 1924, 25, 26. En 3 años, dude. Luego empezó la matadera. Y esa persona era un señor. El señor se llamaba Percy. His full name is Percy Armand Cook. Literally, tengo mis notas aquí, yo bien estudiosa. Y él se quitó la vida in January. He was 52 years old. He was a real estate agent and he was devastated porque he had a falling out with his wife. He missed his wife and his son. He left a note saying that he had spent $40,000 to buy happiness and nothing made him happy. Y después de eso, 4 años después, there was another death. And this was W.K. Norton. He had checked in the Cecil Hotel, and a week after, he was found dead in his room. He was 46 years old, and it is said he drank capsules that contained poison to end his life. Now, a year later, in the year of 1932, oh my god, guys, and it was in September of 1932. Okay, that's too familiar because September is my birthday. A cleaning person found Benjamin Ay, my chuntias doesn't know how to say it. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce some things, pero pues, I'm trying. They found Benjamin dead in his room, and a cleaning person found him, and they claimed that he took his own life. A bunch of people would take their life in this hotel. Now, in 1934, Louis D. Borden, he was 53 years old. He ended his life at the Cecil because he had bad health, he was struggling, and he said that he wanted to die. Guys, there's actually articles, así como the newspaper, of most of these suicides and murders that happened at the Cecil, and it's crazy because esto ya era hace muchísimo tiempo, so the fact that they're still online, that's pretty cool that we get to see it. In the article, it says, investigating officers finding a razor by the body and farewell notes. Reported Borden ended his own life because of ill health. Now, in 1947, Grace E. Magro, so Grace actually attempted suicide, and the suicide didn't really work out because of telephone wires. So, that sucks, dude. She just fell, and they rushed her to the hospital, and she ended up passing away in the hospital. In 1938, they found Roy Thompson, and he had been staying at the Cecil for a couple of weeks, and they found his body around the building. He actually jumped from the top floor. Now, in 1939, a sailor ended his life. His name was Erwin C. Neblet. He was 39 years old. It says, Neblet was found unconscious on the floor of the hotel room by a maid who called police. He died shortly after their arrival. And the next year, there was another death. This was a teacher. Her name was Dorothy Sedger. In January of 1940, the teacher was staying at the Cecil Hotel, and she died in her room. Ahora, 4 años después, sí se calmó poquito. I mean, 4 years, you know. This was actually something crazy that I was like, what the fuck? When I found out about this. This was just kind of fucking mind-blowing. So in 1944, Dorothy Jean Purcell was staying in the Cecil Hotel with her boyfriend. She was only 19 years old. Dorothy was pregnant, and her boyfriend apparently had no idea. It happens to be that Dorothy gave birth inside the hotel, and she didn't want to wake up her boyfriend, so she went to go give birth in the restroom. Y creo que fue al baño al que comparten todos. So when she had the baby, dude, you're not gonna believe what she did. When she had the baby, she threw it out the window. That's fucking crazy, dude. ¿A quién se le ocurre hacer eso? I was like, pinche vieja loca. Ya después, dice que investigaron, and it turns out that she was mentally confused. And to me, esas son chingaderas. Like, she was not okay. Eso para mí se me hace que es una persona loca and dangerous. But she was actually found not guilty of murder. Loki sí se mira media loca. Like, she kind of gives off exorcista vibes. Ay, no. También dicen that she never told her boyfriend Ben. Así tipo nomás fue a tirar el bebé y se hizo pendeja, like if nothing ever happened, because he didn't even know she was pregnant. Then they ended up finding the baby, unfortunately. Fuck, I'm actually reading that the baby's body was found on a roof of another building. So maybe when she dropped it, it fell on a smaller building. That's so fucking sad. Now in November of 1947, a man jumped. His name was Robert Smith. It was a jump from the 7th floor. Como que este punto la gente estaba agarrando ese lugar como para suicides, you know? That's kind of like what I'm understanding, because there's one suicide after another. In 1954, a woman named Margaret Brown, she stayed in the hotel for a week. Later, she ended up jumping from the 7th floor. She was 55 years old, and later they found out her name was Helen. I've heard that a lot of people would check into the hotel with another name, and then later when they would end their life, salía que tenían otro nombre. I think they would do that probably so they won't be found, I'm guessing. Now in 1962, a woman jumped from the 8th floor. She was 50 years old, and her name was Julia Frances Moore. That same year of 1962, another weird thing happened que me dejó como what the fuck. A lady estaba peleando con su husband, and she ended up jumping from the hotel to teach her husband a lesson. And actually, when she jumped, she landed on a person that was walking by the hotel, and she instantly killed him as well. I read that the investigators were kind of confused because at first they thought that they both had jumped from the hotel, but they realized that one of the bodies had shoes on, and they thought that was pretty weird because most of the suicide jumps that came from the hotel, when they would land, no tenían los zapatos puestos, y esta persona tenía los zapatos puestos. So it turned out that when she jumped, she landed on a pedestrian and she instantly killed him. So se llevó la vida del pobre señor, and his name was George. Guys, it's 2 a.m. honestly, like I'm starting to get kind of scared. Así que denle like a este video, eh. Now in 1964, Goldie Osgood, ella vivía en el Cecil Hotel, and she was actually known for feeding the pigeons. How fucking sweet. Se dice that she was super well known in that area for feeding the pigeons. She even had a nickname. They would call her Pigeon Goldie. Well, unfortunately, she was living in the Cecil Hotel. Someone came into her room, attacked her, and sexually assaulted her, and then they killed her. Now in 1975, in December, a woman que se miraba joven, se miraba como de veintitantos años, she jumped. Ella brincó del piso 12, and she had actually registered in the hotel December 16. She took her own life December 20th. A few days later, she had checked in as Allison, but her real identity was never found. You know how I told you guys, a lot of people would check in with a different name, pero ya cuando se quitaban la vida, the real identity was usually found. But unfortunately for her, they didn't find her real identity. Yo creo que lo hacían como por vergüenza o para que nadie los vaya a buscar. Now in 1985, serial killer Richard Ramirez stayed at the Cecil Hotel. Dude, ese güey estaba bien loco. He was also known as the Night Stalker. There's actually a Netflix documentary about it. It's the one that I mentioned previously. Él se pasaba looking for victims in Los Angeles and in San Francisco, y se quedó por mucho tiempo en el Cecil Hotel. Guys, honestly, this out of the subject, but I went to the Museum of Death in LA. I think it's in LA or in Hollywood. No sé, no me acuerdo, pero la neta estaba bien chingón. because I learned so much. And honestly, it was a super cool experience. It was super interesting. It is pretty scary, so if you get scared, I don't recommend you to go. They actually have like a real head. Está como en un vidrio. Y pues ahí tienen cosas de Richard Ramirez. Ahí tienen fan mail que le mandaban en la cárcel. Las pinches viejas locas that liked him. Dude, there's also like his books, like de pornografía. Los que tenía en la cárcel, hay dibujos que hacía también. Hasta tienen pedazos de su pelo ahí. Tienen muchas cosas ahí de muchos serial killers y de muchos misterios. También miré la ropa de Gigi Allen en un vidrio. El rockero ese que se enmierdaba y aventaba su mierda. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but honestly, like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was literally laughing because I couldn't believe it, like, how disgusting that was and how people are dead serious to praise cualquier persona pendeja, dude. Like, this guy, he would have shows and people would look up to him so much. Haz de cuenta, he was like an influencer y en sus shows se cagaba y aventaba la mierda, dude, to the crowd. Y todos así como que me caiga a mí. Ay, no, dude. También se miaba para su público. Creo que también se guacareaba. Y otra gente también se cagaba ahí, dude. Había un cagadero. Pues tenían la ropa ahí toda cagada en el vidrio con sangre y mierda ya desde años. And well, he obviously passed away already. That's why his clothes are there at the museum. But I was just so shook. Like, I fell down a rabbit hole after I went to the museum looking up stuff about him because I just couldn't believe it. Dude, imagínate entrar a un show de él sin que supieras. Like, just going inside a fucking punk show and they're like tirando trozotes de mierda, like, en la madre, córrele. But yeah, Richard Ramirez was a serial killer that stayed in the Cecil Hotel for a long time. And another serial killer was Jack Unterweger. He was a resident at the Cecil Hotel. Y ese güey estaba loco, dude. He actually was a journalist. Dicen que según fue a quedarse al Cecil Hotel because he was writing about that area of Los Angeles y que según estaba investigando esa área. He had sex workers go to his room a lot. So they say in 1974 in Austria, he was actually sentenced for being a killer and a rapist. He was released in the 1990s, and when he was released in the area that he was staying, a lot of women started going missing around that area. Obviously, he was the first person that people started pointing their fingers at. So he went to Los Angeles. That's when he decided to check in the Cecil Hotel. He started doing murders in Los Angeles, and in 1982, they finally caught him again. He was found guilty again for 9 murders. He ended up committing suicide in his cell at the age of 43. Dude, como que se quedaba ahí puro loco. Imagine what the walls know, dude. If only the walls could talk. Now, in 1992, in September 1st, they actually found the body of a man in the back of the Cecil Hotel. And they never found out if it was him that had ended his life or if somebody pushed him. They never identified him either. Pero se miraba joven and he looked like if he was in his 20s. Ya después en el 2013 es cuando pasó el accidente de Elisa Lam. Unfortunately, Elisa Lam was found in the water tanks on top of the hotel. People don't know how she got there, but there is a video where it looks like she is running away from something in the elevator. Dude, it's crazy because se quedaba tanto loco en ese hotel that people don't know si estas muertes eran suicide o si algún loco mató a estas personas. People have no idea to this day how she got to the water tank, and it's super sad and disturbing because her body, since it was in the water tank, la agua del hotel empezó a salir negra y pues con sabor a muertito. Una vez me metí a las Yelp reviews and there's even pictures on Yelp. People have no idea how she even got to the water tank because they say it's super impossible to get in there. It's super heavy too. Y el elevador también no quería servir. She would like be pressing the buttons and that shit didn't work. So it's always been a mystery. People don't know if there's someone there. Pues como se queda cualquier loco ahí. It could be someone killing the people. It could be something in the hotel that gets into people's heads. O también puede ser that people just like to end their life in this hotel and they choose to go there. I don't know, dude, but this hotel is like such a mystery. Como ha pasado tanta desgracia, dude. As of now, they decided to change the name to rebrand the hotel. Y ahora se llama Stay on Main. But everybody knows it at the Cecil no matter what. I think they're doing it as just apartments now. Algo así. Pero low-key, que pinche terror. Like imagine staying in the room where Richard Ramirez stayed. O imagínate todas las vidas que se han acabado en ese hotel. It's just fucking crazy that all these deaths have happened in that hotel. And literally pasaron year after year. If you or anyone you know have stayed at the Cecil Hotel, comment below and tell me the chisme, or if any of you guys know any stories about the Cecil Hotel. Comment porque yo quiero saber todo el chisme. But yeah, guys, this is it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you give me a thumbs up aquí abajito. Suscríbanse. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified for the next video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.